Hey guys, Tyler, and this is Matt. He's my other host for all of these Super Geeks battle reports and other videos that we're doing for y'all. So we actually have the new Shadow Throne box that just released. It's releasing this weekend. Still go out and it's not on pre-order anymore, but I think they can still order it through GW.
I believe so.
But this is basically the culmination of the new Genestealer Colts, which Matt has a ton of Tyranids. We have a couple in front of us here. And then the battle between them and Custodes on Holy Terra. So I've got some Custodes up here. These are 3 of the models that are actually in the box. I kind of have my own Custodes army already, so just to kind of give you guys some scale of what we're going to be looking at, we decided to kind of bring some of the big hitters from each list.
For sure.
So, on the back, we have the image that's been spreading around on the internet for the past, month and a half, 2 months now?
It's been a good few weeks plus.
But, we have the big culmination of all the Genestealer Colts over here on this side, and then all the new Custodians over here. I know something interesting with the new Custodians, not Battle Sisters, but the Sisters of Silence. They're starting to do more of a troops role, which is kind of interesting. I think they split it up between, there's one for troops, there's one for elites, and I believe there's one for fast attacks. So with the Genestealers, though, I'm completely new to them.
I'm not going to lie, I've come from a lot of Tyranids. The Genestealers is something that's still fairly new to me as a player. My son has actually inherited my Tyranids, so we're learning a lot of that together. But a lot of these Genestealer models and just a lot of the things that come with them are really neat. I like a lot of the new dynamic poses and just some of the neat models and the lore and stuff that comes with them. I'm personally really excited about the Patriarch, the new Gene. I mean, he looks huge and just something neat.
Yeah, I did notice that Patriarch. We'll get to it when we get to more of the sprue section, but we'll just put it a little bit closer for you guys. If you look at underneath him, there's actually this weird pipe that's on his base that he kind of perches on. I think that's really awesome that GW are starting to do more of
the scenic bases.
Exactly. I mean, I love putting together bases, but
it adds more character to the models.
Exactly.
And it's something that a lot more people can do. That's, if you don't have a lot of the foam or a lot of the extra stuff to get into to do the base work, these come with them now. They're getting those options. I think that's really cool.
And I mean, honestly, not having to put corkboard on every single base is just great now.
I get yeah. Guilty.
So let's start getting this thing open. With any type of plastic with GW, generally it's easy, but sometimes their boxes are just a pain.
Oh yeah.
I know with the new the Squig Hog box, they put on some pretty heavy-duty plastic for that.
Yeah, this one's not been too bad.
But also, just for all you new players, within this box, you're going to have enough for, I believe it's 2 500-point lists. So you'll have your Custodes list, which obviously you're going to be using the captain, or the Blade Captain, whatever his name is, Blade Champion, my bad, as your HQ. You'll have your Sisters as your troops choice. And then you'll have your Alaris Custodians in your elite slot. So that's a decent Custodian 500-point list, and they are an elite army.
I'm glad you touched on that with them being an elite army. It's not, you're not going to have swarms of anything. You've got your specialized units that pretty much have a job to go in.
Exactly. And with elite armies, we're probably, if they do anything like they did in 8th with 9th edition Custodes, we're probably looking at pretty low saves. They're going to be almost, I wouldn't say impossible, but they're going to be very hard to remove from the board.
For sure.
So let's actually pop this bad boy open and start looking into the actual sprues that we have. So let's see. We actually have, I think this is the Blade Champion sprue.
Here's your bases. Which we were talking about does look like the
So we do have some 25s, but I think we also have 40s and a 32, and a couple 32s.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. So, guys, this is the first time we've actually opened this box. So everything's new to us as it is new to you. So we're just going to kind of mosey on through this and try to really get a feel for what we're looking at. I think, so if we want to take a look at this sprue, it may be a little bit hard to see, but I believe this is the Saboteur sprue. So on it we have, it looks like her detonator, I can't tell if that's her power pack, or no, that's the bomb. Like, that's the actual mine that goes on the base.
Yeah, because it's got the little timer, and
then on the bottom it's flat. So yeah, even the Saboteur has her own basing, which is really nice to see coming from GW now.
And kind of talking on that, that's really cool. There's the Patriarch, the base we're talking about. They almost have, if any fans of like Aliens versus Predators, there's almost like hive skulls where the pipe, you can't really see it, where they've almost got it's like infested.
It's like right here for you guys.
That's really cool that they added just that detail that goes around, that they've got the infestation, they got the different skulls. That model is really cool too, even looking at it. It's a lot. Right here's your Patriarch body.
And that's actually a full body too. That's not one of those split bodies.
Yeah, you just got the full body where you pop your legs and your arms. I mean, that's going to be a neat model build.
And look at the arms right here. Like, they are huge. Like, the claws on them,
which is
just
something
insane.
That I like, because I know with the old Tyranids, even the Gene Stealer, the Broodlord and stuff, he's gradually getting bigger. And seeing this, I mean, you can really differentiate him from the rest of the troops, and I like that a lot.
I think that's like really showing the evolution of the kind of like the Tyranids now, because I know
for sure.
In the actual lore currently, the Tyranids are getting closer and closer to Terra, so it's becoming, ever more scary, I guess, for the humans on Terra. Me being an Orc player, love it. Can't wait for the Tyranids to finally eat them all.
Which is one thing that's cool about the Gene Stealer cult, is they're basically a sub-faction of the Tyranids that go in and infiltrate and basically corrupt from the within until they get it to a nice place for the Tyranids to, like, hey, we're ripe for the picking, come get everything.
Exactly. And the cool thing about the Gene Stealer cults, they're actually like human populations that have been converted by the Tyranids. So, they're almost like this hybrid of Tyranid and human. But on this sprue, we see this. So the Blade Champion actually has two different sprues, and it seems like there's two different swords you can actually use for him. So I'm not sure. Maybe if we raise it up just a little bit. So on the sprue over here, we have a sword here and a sword here. So I think there's actually multiple different kind of styles, and maybe even like
some options of building it.
Maybe actually, yeah, exactly.
Which is very nice.
Also, another cool addition, if you look right here, there's actually another base material. So you can actually, there's skulls, and it's like a rocky road. And but yeah, so those are like the main figures, I believe.
Well, yeah, because we got right here's the Patriarch, and then it looks like the Gene Stealer, like a cult leader.
Okay, and then we have the Saboteur.
Yeah, the Saboteur. And then this one looks almost like a little assassin. It looks like you got your special characters for them, because with the Gene Stealers in this, yeah, you're gonna have your horde troop, and then a couple of special characters. Yep, right there.
So yeah, he is the
Primus, I would assume.
Yeah, the Primus, because then we have the Patriarch, the Magus, which is right there, with his two familiars. Oh, he even has two little...
I was going to say, I thought I once saw those. They're two, like, almost itty-bitty Gene Stealers.
Yeah, they're like
that are on there that are still neat. But
gross to me, but... yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, so let's move on. This is the Sisters of Silence. This is probably... I've played Custodes for a little bit back in 8th, and the Sisters of Silence, like actual sprues, are what interested me the most about this box, other than the Blade Champion, obviously. The Blade Champion looks super cool, and I think he'll be an awesome model. once we actually get a hand on his stats. I know Warhammer Communities, spoiled a couple of his stats, and they look really good. Don't get me wrong. Being able to take that sword and having 3 different, you have a infantry killer, a vehicle killer, and then an elite killer. Like, I think that just makes him like basically a Swiss Army knife for the Custodes.
Oh, absolutely.
And then also with their new stances, I guess, they're if anyone's played Necrons, they're almost like their command protocols. They're situational at times, but I think the Custodes take that command protocol a little bit further.
It gives them a nice toolbox. I mean,
exactly.
They can basically, they don't specifically have one set job.
Mm-hmm.
You can, depending on the situation and where you're at, and claiming objectives or taking down things, they've got a nice toolbox to take care of different situations.
Exactly, and I think the coolest part though. You can select those at the beginning of the battle. You don't select them like when you're building your army or anything. You select them at the beginning of the battle for your specific opponent. And I think that's just awesome because that gives you so much flexibility.
Oh, absolutely.
That makes that ability just that much better. So, again, here are the Sisters of Silence. You can actually make all 3 different versions of them. You can only make one squad of 5, so you have to do a little bit of choosing. But you do have that option. You can make I think there's the prosecutors, the witch hunters, and I think there's one other one. I can't remember. Again, I don't have a lot of information with Sisters of Silence.
I say that one, they're still new to me, and I'm more of a Xenos player myself, so.
I feel you're right there. But, again, so many options with these Sisters of Silence. You can make whatever you want, really. So, moving on, let's hit the Gene Stealers really quick, and then we'll end on our big note. Matt, take us away with these Gene Stealers.
These are awesome. I'm liking a lot of just the newer details in a lot of the kits and things. I think they're really doing a great job. You get a lot of worth for what you're spending on these, and these just kind of follow in suit. I mean, you've got your special weapons teams. I believe it's 10 neophytes is what comes in this box as your core troop. For this army, and I mean, you've got like right here, there's 3, you've got several different head options, and that's one thing with the Gene Stealers, the cult specifically, is they've kind of got this bald, domey head, which is nice, but I'm one of those with a lot of my armies, I don't want every model to look exactly the same. I don't want to have like 10 copies of the same model, and it's really cool that they've got all kinds of different options. I mean, there's 10 heads right here. There's another 5 over here.
It looks like
you've got they're spread throughout, but you've got different poses, different levels of how much they've converted from Tyranids and the human hybrid to more like weird humans to these ones are really close to looking like the actual Gene Stealers. I don't know if you can see it. Something as far as like a banner right here in the top corner. I think that's really neat the way that they give some of just the flashy detail stuff you can add to your models to make them stand that much out on the table. I mean, some really cool stuff. I'd have to look at the weapons teams, but you can see, I mean, they've got multiple different things, but I like that, you don't have 10 of the same gun or 10 of the same close combat weapon. It looks like down here you've got some heavy weapon options that you can do when you're building them. I mean, there's just so much with this sprue that you can do. I mean, these 10 guys, I mean, I like that it's all here on one, so you're not going to be flipping through different things. You can kind of go through here and build them how you like. So I think that's pretty cool.
I think coming from, I'm an Orcs player again. I think coming from me, we Orcs players have kind of gotten the raw end of the stick with how our, individual infantry units look. They're all the same for some reason, even though Orcs are supposed to be all these different shades and different, really cool. But GW has blown it out of the park with these Gene Stealers. Like, each head, I don't think there's 2 of the same head.
You say you can't really see, even when they get into the Gene Stealer looking ones, you've got some over here that are more Gene Stealery.
They're like wearing gas masks, they have goggles on. Like,
I said, you can't really see it on there, but they really go into detail to make each one stand out and be different. I mean, you've got ones with goggles, ones without goggles, some with masks, some with, I mean, it's just the different levels. So,
and
That's awesome.
Honestly, all of their guns look so ramshackle too. Like this dude has, a break action shotgun. I think it's a double barrel break action. This guy has some kind of like small bolter style weapon.
You got your grenade launcher. Right
grenade launcher, plasma weapon. Like basically, that's a Remington too.
Oh yeah,
that's a Remington 812.
Even over here, you get into your heavier weapons.
Exactly.
You got
you got a big old machine gun. Like there's so many cool options with these Gene Stealers. Like it really feels like it's just a group of random humans that got together and are forming their own militia.
Which is
exactly
what they are.
Yeah, it's very Mad Max in this way.
Yes.
So, and all of these Gene Stealers, they're all on 25s, I believe, except for like the main characters. I believe they're on 32s, and then one is on 40. I think that's
the Patriarch.
Yeah. So we're going to end off our sprue section at least on kind of the big note of this box, which is our big Alaris custodians, and
which these guys are just crazy. I mean, they're the Space Marines of Space Marines.
They really are. Like, it's when a custodian dies, that's a bad thing. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, when a custodian dies, that's a big thing for the Imperium. But these Alaris custodians are like, we have the original Space Marines here, we have Custodian here, we have Alaris custodians like way up here on the roof. Like these guys are the big, the bad. They are chunky. They can't be taken.
Aren't these guys lore wise like these are like the elite personal guard of the Emperor himself?
Correct. The Alaris are like we are the Big E's main man.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, so I've actually opened up one of these Alaris boxes before, as you can see in front of me. I've built 9 of them already. But yeah, this is literally just the sprue from the Alaris box. I don't think I see any upgrades really. They all look for the most part the same. I think the only difference is this new... So now there's a Vexillus, this Eagle Vexillus over here, that goes on somehow. We're not gonna look too much into the instructions right now, and we actually haven't yet. Oh, there's another base even. I think this might be the Patriarch's base. That looks like that looks like either a 50.
Here, let me check those.
Anything else?
No, just that.
Just the book.
We're not gonna pop that open. Well,
we can look at a little bit of the lore and just kind of go through it, and then we also have the instructions on the back.
For sure.
But yeah, and you can even with this kit, which is really cool, you can make the Vexillus. Again, this is exactly just a custodian, Alaris custodian box on the sprues. They just took it out of the box, threw it in this one. So there's not really much of a difference, but you can make the new Vexillus. I think that's a different model. I think these are actually different models for this. Very small changes, but it's just mainly detailing.
Which still, I mean, those guys, even with that sprue being the way it is, those guys come pretty armed to the teeth, and they're pretty...
They do. They all have grenade launchers on their wrists. I'm not sure if you can see that really well, but about right here, they all have grenade launchers, and then their axes, which looks... I mean, it literally just looks like a giant polearm, but there's a bolter on the end of it. And I believe in the new rules that have been spoiled so far, they got better. Like more AP, more damage, more strength, which is kind of ridiculous already.
I was going to say they were already pretty crazy as is. So that's, I mean, great for them, bad for us Xenos players.
Bad for everyone else. But yeah, so that's the sprue section.
I like that a lot of these new boxes come with these art pieces, which it's kind of like a 2-for-1 because you get this piece of art that you can hang up in your game room, your studio, whatever, but they also help protect like the books and the paperwork and things from getting damaged and just a shuffle.
Exactly.
So they can take a little bit of the beating and you can still do fun things with them, and they're really neat.
And as you can see, it is a little folded here. That's not the best, but again, like he said, it's for protecting the book, really.
Yep.
Would you rather have some kind of flimsy poster that you may or may not even put up? ripped to shreds, or would you rather have your actual book that has all the rules in it ripped up?
Well, and I'll even say the ones at home that I've got for like the orcs and things, even if they're a little damaged, I mean, put a little bit of a cheap frame on them and they go up and you'd never know. I mean, they still look great in your game rooms.
And then on the back is literally the same image, but it has our book. It's like our code for Warhammer Plus.
Correct.
So
to get your rules.
Get our rules and everything like that. So yeah, let's crack open this plastic, and we'll take a look at some of the build instructions, because I really want to see the build instructions for that new Primarch.
Let's check that out.
It's not a Primarch. It's
for the Patriarch.
Patriarch. That's what it is.
It looks like.
Oh, that's even our sword champion.
For your Blade champion, he is going to come on a. What is that?
Blade champion is on a
40 millimeter.
Yeah,
yep,
40
millimeter. So it is look like the 50 millimeter, which you get one, is for the Patriarch.
Okay.
Which I like a lot of these new, the newer instructions.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost. Your different options are color coordinated, so it's not hard to like lose your spot when you're in the middle of something. And you've got your different variants. I think those are just the way they do a lot of these. I really enjoy.
Let's see if we can get a good photo of that. There you go. So yeah, this is actually the Blade champion, and it looks like there's so many different ways
I
to
counted a
push
couple
them
in there.
on. Like, yeah, there's two different swords. So you can get the one with. He actually has a helmet or no helmet. So
I like that.
I'm probably going to put the helmet on because I'm terrible at painting faces, except for orc faces, because you just slap green on and they're good to go. But yeah, human skin tone, I'm terrible at. So I'll probably keep them with the helmet. But just because you put the helmet on or you don't put the helmet on doesn't mean you can't choose the different arm poses.
I was saying I like the dynamic poses with these. I mean, you got him charging into battle, whether it be with two swords or one big one. I mean,
I didn't even notice that he had two swords.
Exactly. This one is they've got him holding one out in front of him, kind of shield, and then the other one coming to cross swing.
That is so cool. And it looks. Oh no, that's Alar's Terminator. Never mind. I was gonna say it looks like he even has a grenade launcher, but that's not true. But yeah, you can also see his base. Like, I think he fits on the same way for both ones. Yeah. But that base just looks so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can throw, some kind of just small, like sand material or dirt material around that, paint it like a light gray.
And he's on the battlefield.
And that's Battlefield, yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, then we start going into more of the Terminators and stuff. And then we have the new not new, but the new Vixillus that they come with the box that you can put together. If you're running this box as just like your 500 point army, I would personally not put the Vixillus Terminator together yet, just because we're not sure. I know in 8th edition you had to do them separately, like separate units. So you had your Vixillus and then you had your regular Alaris Terminators. So maybe until the new rules come out, keep them separate or run them just as a regular Terminator, because you can't run your entire unit. You have to have 3 at minimum. So that is something to look out for when you're building your Alaris. But it looks like with the Alaris Terminators, you have helmets and just regular heads, which is kind of cool. I personally like all the helmeted Alaris Terminators. I think they look way better. There it is. So, with this section, we actually have the 3 variants of Sisters. So, the top, we have our Witch Seekers, which I believe they are troop choices.
Okay.
We have our Vigilators, which are our fast attacks. They have big swords. And then we have our Prosecutors, which are our elites. Actually, I think I have that mixed up. I think Witch Seekers are our elites, because Witch Seekers have flamers.
I was going to say which that makes sense for the Witch Seekers.
Exactly. And then our Prosecutors are our troops. Sorry, my bad. Again, I don't know much about Sisters of Silence. I just think they're really cool. It is kind of sad, though, they lost the psychic rule, at least for now.
For now, but
it could be better.
I was going to say, it could be something better, could be coming down the pipeline.
Oh, my goodness. So
lots of options, though. Oh my gosh,
tons of options for our Sisters of Silence. Like, I believe this is just for like 1 or 2 models. I'm like Yeah, this will make your entire thing, but look how many just different options you have for each sister. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's
but
funny,
I love it.
as I say, funny. It's coming again as we're both orc players. I'm used to seeing this kind of customization with orcs, as they've got all kinds of little pieces and things that you can do, and now to see it with some of the sisters and the Marines and stuff, just a different thing. That's really cool because you can really personalize your army, and I think that's awesome.
And I think they put the amount of detail into personalizing as we would in our vehicles.
Yeah,
our troops are still just those monopose are so bad, but yeah, these not monopose at all. These are so many options. You could build your army in just, I think, too many ways.
I was going to say, you almost buy several different boxes so you can do the different options, because it's going to be hard to choose what you want to stick with.
Really, it is. It is crazy the amount of just, information we have to look at with this.
For sure.
I'm going to get lost building these tomorrow. I can guarantee it. But yeah, so then we start on our Primus. That was the ninja dude, and then our Magus, which
I think he's pretty neat. I don't know what exactly he does, how sorcerer or as far as a caster goes, or a spiritual leader to them. I need to learn that myself, but I think it's a pretty neat model. Definitely stands out against the neophytes and the patriarch, but that's pretty neat. The stuff you can do with him, it reminds me of Zinch, but it's not Zinch.
Yeah, I definitely can see that with kind of the more Egyptian-ish style look to him. But the Primus, that is such a cool. It's got a really big
Mad Max,
but almost like the Imperium assassination.
Yeah,
the assassins for them. Not assassins. What are they called?
The Averser assassin and the It definitely is like a Gene Stealer version of their assassin. It's how he looks,
but he just has a third arm.
But yeah, with him mutating, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, so here's really the main guy running the show now. We've got the big patriarch who, as you can see from the instructions, just is huge.
Which is funny because we were talking about that, because you got your custodes here, and then this is even a Tyranid warrior, and his base is, again, you can kind of see. I'm trying to hold him up in the light.
So this is the actual 50 mil right here. This is the 50 mil, and then this one is the 40.
So that being that much bigger, with it being a scenic base, and then him standing, he's going to come. Looking at that, he's going to be a good twice this height of this model. He's going to tower over a lot of the troops.
Yeah,
and stuff.
He's going to make the custodians.
It'd be a really good centerpiece.
Oh, for sure. Especially if you put a lot of effort into that guy. If you're going to put any effort into your models, put them into him, because he's going to be the first thing people see.
Oh, absolutely.
And
and he's a neat looking model.
He is. He's super cool. And him being on his own sprue is so nice for putting them together, because you're literally going to just pull out the one sprue and that's it. You won't need anything else. You'll just have that sprue. You'll have your instructions for him. And it seems to be that his instructions are very straightforward.
I was going to say, it's got the bodies all in one piece. The two legs come together to make the single base, and then you attach the arms. And
I think there's one other part, and it's that little grate that's on the front, the little fan, and that's it. That is such a. Oh, it's not even a full sprue. It's literally this.
Yeah, it's just the half of it.
Yeah, that's. And then you have the Magus and
the
Primus.
Magus and the Primus on the other half.
That is so
you got
awesome.
your leadership right there.
Yeah. See, it's so good to be a Gene Stealer player right now. You have so many cool sprues, so many cool models right now. If the rules reflect anything, and I think the crossfire mechanic does, I've looked at it a little bit. It looks pretty nutty. It's a good time to be a Gene Stealer and a Tyranid player in general.
Oh, for sure.
Combining these two armies, it's so good. We even forgot about the Reductus. We've been so into these three.
I was going to say, I thought, because it's on its own base, the bomb.
Yeah. Oh, the bomb comes with it in another base. Oh, that's so cool. So yeah, if you want to see, if we can get a little bit of light on it. So we actually have the bomb on its separate base away from the saboteur. And I think that plays into its rules.
I was going to say we have to look at the rules as it comes, but that would be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. That, you know, do they move and set it up and move away, and you've got, you know, X amount of time to eliminate it, you know, defuse it, if you will.
Well, I think if I read this right from one of the spoils on Warhammer Community, I believe when you walk through, it's kind of like the squig bombs.
Okay.
But wherever you walk through, you can place the bomb on the line of wherever you're moving, and I think you can set it off during your turn.
Okay.
So it's really an area of denial effect to it. So basically, you know, you could throw this on an objective, and if your opponent comes to take the objective from you, you can just blow it up.
I like that a lot. That's pretty, and it's very, you know, with the Gene Stealer cult, them, you know, being with saboteurs and trying to mess things up. I mean, that can cause some problems for your opponent, and I like that.
It really can. And I think we'll see a lot of cool, like in the tournament scene, mm-hmm. I think we'll see a lot of cool uses for it.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
not sure how many people are actually going to use it, but I think if we start seeing it at tournaments, I think there's going to be so many imaginative ways to use this.
Oh, absolutely.
And then finally, we have our little neophytes. And again, there's so many options. You have pickaxes they can have for melee weapons, chain knives.
Let's say it looks like they're getting a close combat weapon and a gun, and each one of them, I mean, you got multiple different options for each. And it didn't even, if you notice on the very beginning cover of the instructions, one more page over.
One more page.
There were options in the beginning for heavy weapons team for them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. That is...
So you can do, I mean, you've got your regular guns and close combat weapons, and then you've got a step up, which is...
You have your special
weapons.
You have your icon
bearer, and then you have your heavy weapons.
Yeah, heavy weapons. And I think you can build 2 of these, actually. So it looks like you can build your... I think it's 2. I want to say it's 2, because it looks like it says... I'm pretty sure that's 2.
Yeah,
it says times
2.
2. So you can do 2 heavy weapons. It looks like you can do 2 special weapons. And then you get an icon or just a regular hybrid. Nothing too special there, even though the icon looks so good, guys. So slick. And then you have your neophyte leader.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I think these cult, like, just units are just going to look so good. And you can kind of see what their rendition of it was. So each one, it looks like they have an icon, a leader, 2 heavy weapons, 2 special, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 just regular neophyte hybrids. And of course, when the book actually comes out, we'll get to see their points values. I don't think they're going to be that expensive.
No, I can't imagine with the numbers and stuff. I mean, because to deal with those custodes, they're going to have plenty of numbers. Yeah. But I think it's going to be... It'll be neat.
It really will be. And we're not able to go over the data sheets for you guys, sadly. But just to give you an idea of what you'll get in the book, there is a section on data sheets. You have Crusade rules for both Custodes and Gene Stealers.
I'm very excited for that.
So cool. I mean, right out of the box, you can play a 500-point Crusade match with Custodes and Gene Stealers. That's amazing. They even have their own relics, so don't be worried about that.
Well, it's a fun aspect of the game, I think, too, is the Crusade rules, doing something a little bit more than even if you're not just tournament play. I mean, something a little more story driven.
Exactly, and it looks like. So these are the actual Gene. So Gene Stealer cults have a new cool rule. We're not going to go over. I'm sorry, guys. Don't mean to ruin it for you.
But they got some neat stuff.
They have some really neat stuff.
Just reading the heading, that's pretty awesome.
But yeah, in here is also 2 missions that are specifically meant for. I should stop calling them custodians. I just realized that because these aren't custodians anymore. These are the Talons of the Emperor.
Okay, fair enough.
Because we have Sisters of Silence now, so we are the Talons. But in here, we actually have missions where it's like you have a Gene Stealer deployment, and it says Gene Stealer deployment, so there's no picking deployment. And then you have a much smaller Talons of the Emperor deployment. So it's really more story-driven with these missions, it looks like. And, being able to just crack open a box, put together models, and then do a mission, that's probably the best thing about this box.
Yeah.
And then, they're still doing this. So if anyone out there plays AOS of any kind, and you've opened up your AOS codexes, they have these really cool painting tutorials, and they show different ways to paint your models. Well, so this is something we can show you, but they actually have painting guides in this new book. And I think with the new codex, they might actually continue.
I was going to say, I would hope that they continue that, because it's something that they've been doing, and I really enjoyed it. It really helps inspire me and gives me ideas for how I'm going to do mine. Painted up, these models look amazing in detail. You guys can't see what we're looking at, just the level of detail, and then to see it painted and stuff, and the artwork. I mean, these are awesome. These are awesome.
They're GW with this box, honestly, A+. I think. I loved the Orcs box, but I think I like this box even more. It's just so cool. There's so many unique things.
There's so many unique things that they're going to add, for a lot of different people. I know personally, with my son being a Tyranid player, the Gene Stealers adding a whole different play style. I know he'll be excited for that, and I'll be having fun getting him going with it. We might get a headache at a time or two for all the different choices and how we want to model them up, but I think that's a win.
And then really the last thing about this book, like most codexes and most rules books, we just have general kind of storyline with it. And it just kind of gives you a good background on the lore of the Talons of the Emperor, the Gene Stealer cults, and their main fight right now. And
there's even a whole background as far as not even just each specific army, but a setting.
Yeah,
and kind of where we're at right now with why they're fighting.
Exactly, and this is a really cool setting, guys. I will give you a little bit of information on this because this has nothing to do with rules, so we're not spoiling anything really. But this is setting on Terra. This is the Gene Stealer cults on Terra are coming out and fighting, which has amazing implications.
Oh yeah, because for Terra, that's where the Emperor's body, where he is at. It's why the Talons of the Emperor are coming out, because it's hey, we're literally hitting home.
Exactly, which I think that has some bad implications on the Imperium's part.
I was
especially because if they're there, the
things are slipping.
Tyranids aren't that far behind.
Exactly. That's literally what the Gene Stealer cults do. They infiltrate, and once they get to high enough numbers and they've warped enough, when they come out of hiding is generally when they're starting to mess stuff up to get it ready for the rest of the Hive fleets to come in and absorb that planet. So if that's happening on Terra, and the Talons, the Emperor's boys himself are coming out to defend this. It's a pretty big chance that something really bad is coming down, And again, we play Orcs. That's awesome. We love to fight.
Yeah.
So
if the Imperium are going down and the Orcs are invited to the party, I'm not too mad about that.
Yeah. VIP ticket turned in.
Exactly. Let's get GW, please. Gargant model sometime. I don't care if it's $600-$700 for a Gargant model, please. That would be so cool, especially with all this war going on.
Well, and the detail and stuff. I can't imagine. That would be setting the stage for some crazy things. Because you think of all the other armies and stuff. Yeah, we've got the Gene Stealers and the Talons of the Emperor, and here coming down the road, was it January? The Tau.
The Taus are coming.
They're hitting on a lot of these armies that have been needing some love,
of course,
for a while now, and things are starting to happen that it's happening, but on different scale. War on Terra, the one before this was Octarius, which was a huge, between the Tyranids and the Orcs
and the Guard.
And then you get in the Guard, absolutely, because the Death Krieg. there's all kinds of things that are going on. That these aren't like little battles. I mean, they're big things that are happening. That I think it's going to be exciting to see how that continues to play out.
Well, and we also had that new Warzone. Was it Calnath or Chalnath?
I think
the Tau versus the Sisters of Battle.
Yep.
So we're starting to see a lot of just like all of the Imperium's enemies are coming, and for us as players, like that's awesome. Like we can't wait for all this cool war.
Well, I like a lot of those specializations and stuff too. I mean,
exactly.
You got your Tyranids, now you got your Gene Stealers, and they're delving more into that. Look at the Talons of the Emperor. I mean, those are like super space marines.
Exactly.
I mean, there's all kinds of options and something for everybody, and they're big battles that are coming.
I mean, we're in for a good year. That's all I have to say about these new boxes coming out. I mean, Tal's right around the corner. We're gonna have another unboxing in January probably. Looking at that, and I think we'll probably have an unboxing of the new Custodes and Gene Stealer Codex. Like we're gonna take a first look at that and get it to you guys. So
absolutely
see if it's really for you. I mean, I'm a Custodes player already, so obviously Talons of the Emperor are for me. But we'll see. I mean, we got a couple weeks. Got Christmas season. Have some fun then, and then get right back into Warhammer.
Absolutely, definitely. Leave some comments. Let us know if there's unboxings or things maybe that you guys would like to see or like to see us talk about. The sky's the limit,
Yeah. What models are you guys interested in? Because if you pick a model that's super cool and super interesting, give us a little heads up. Let us know that you want to see what that actually looks like, either on the sprue, put together, painted. The sky's the limit, as he said. We will get that to you. Like, you just have to let us know, and we're more than willing to do it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for the awesome unboxing. This will be on YouTube in approximately probably about half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, we'll get it uploaded.
If you didn't, if you kind of moved in halfway through. But look for that link on the Facebook page. And, y'all have a great weekend and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, guys. Have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy time with your families and stuff. Get some games in.
All right. We'll see you in January.